World War II, a conflict that engulfed the globe from 1939 to 1945, left an indelible mark on human history. A cataclysmic event, it was a time of profound change, a period that saw the world divided and then reshaped, a maelstrom of power, ideologies and ambitions that swept across continents. It involved major players such as the United States, the United Kingdom, and the Soviet Union on one side, and Germany, Italy and Japan on the other. This 6-year-long conflict was punctuated by pivotal battles, each shaping the course of events and steering the world towards a new, uncertain future. From the relentless blitzkrieg warfare that saw Germany rapidly conquer much of Europe, to the brutal Eastern Front where the Soviet Union and Germany clashed, each battle etched its story onto the canvas of history. But let's rewind a bit and delve into one of the key events that steered the United States towards an active role in this global war: the attack on Pearl Harbor. On a quiet December morning in 1941, Japanese planes swooped down on the US naval base at Pearl Harbor, a devastating surprise attack that catapulted the United States into the heart of the conflict. Following this, the United States made a decision that would alter the course of the war, and indeed of human history, the decision to build the atomic bomb. This ambitious, secretive project, known as the Manhattan Project, was an unprecedented scientific endeavor that aimed to harness the destructive power of the atom. Meanwhile, the Allies issued the Potsdam Declaration, demanding Japan's unconditional surrender. But Japan, determined to fight till the end, ignored the ultimatum. And so, as the war raged on, a new weapon of mass destruction was being developed, a weapon that would change the face of warfare forever. In 1945, the world entered the atomic age with the successful test of the first nuclear weapon. This marked the culmination of a vast, secretive effort known as the Manhattan Project. The Manhattan Project, named for its origins in the United States, was a massive undertaking, one that brought together some of the brightest minds of the time. It was a melting pot of intellect and determination, featuring renowned scientists like Robert Oppenheimer, Enrico Fermi, and Richard Feynman. Their task? To unlock the destructive power of the atom and harness it as a weapon. The challenges they faced were monumental. They had to overcome not just the scientific and technical obstacles inherent in creating a nuclear weapon, but also the logistical and ethical ones. Yet despite the magnitude of these obstacles, they pushed forward, driven by the conviction that their work could bring an end to the war. On July 16, 1945, their efforts bore fruit. In a remote desert in New Mexico, the first atomic bomb, codenamed Trinity, was detonated. The explosion was equivalent to the power of 20,000 tons of TNT, a force so immense that it forever altered the landscape and marked the dawn of the atomic age. Then came the decision to use this weapon against Japan. It was a decision fraught with controversy, one that continues to elicit debate to this day. But at the time, many believed that it was necessary, that it could bring a swift end to a war that had already claimed so many lives. The hope was that the sheer destructive power of the atomic bomb would be enough to compel Japan to surrender. With the weapon tested and ready, the stage was set for one of the most devastating acts in human history. The atomic age had begun, and with it came a new era of warfare, one in which the power to destroy entire cities and potentially end civilization lay in the hands of a few. On August 6 and 9, 1945, the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki were reduced to ashes. Just after 8 in the morning, on August 6th, the American B-29 bomber, Enola Gay, soared through the skies over Hiroshima. The plane, named after the pilot's mother, carried a payload of catastrophic proportions, codenamed Little Boy. As the plane approached its target, the crew armed the bomb, and at approximately 15 minutes past 8, Little Boy was released. It plummeted towards the city, detonating about 1,900 feet above the ground. The explosion yielded a blinding flash of light, followed by a shockwave that obliterated nearly everything within a 1-mile radius. 3 days later, another American B-29 bomber, Bockscar, took to the skies, this time with the city of Nagasaki in its crosshairs. The bomb, codenamed Fat Man,
was even more powerful than its predecessor. Due to cloud cover and visibility issues, the drop was not as precise as Hiroshima's, but the results were no less devastating. Fat Man exploded at an altitude of about 1,650 feet, flattening a significant portion of Nagasaki. The immediate aftermath of these bombings was a scene of unimaginable destruction and loss. Buildings were flattened, fires raged, and the streets were littered with the bodies of those who had been in the vicinity of the blasts. The estimates of the death toll vary, but it's believed that between 130,000 and 226,000 people were killed, most of them civilians. These two bombings marked the first and only time nuclear weapons have been used in warfare. The immense destruction and loss of life they caused is a stark reminder of the devastating power of nuclear weapons. The cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki were left in ruins, their populations decimated, and their landscapes forever scarred by the events of those fateful August days. In the blink of an eye, two cities were wiped off the map, and the world was forever changed.
The bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki marked the end of World War II, but their legacy is still felt today. In the immediate aftermath, Japan was left in ruins, with an estimated 200,000 lives lost, not just in the initial blasts, but also from the lingering effects of radiation sickness. This catastrophic event played a significant role in Japan's decision to surrender just days later, marking the end of a brutal and devastating war. But the end of World War II was not the end of the atomic age. Instead, it was just the beginning. The bombings sparked a global arms race, with nations around the world scrambling to develop their own nuclear weapons, forever changing the face of warfare. The Cold War era was characterized by a chilling standoff, with the threat of nuclear annihilation hanging like a sword of Damocles over the world's head. The bombings also left a lasting impact on the health and environment of Japan. Even today, survivors known as hibakusha and their descendants continue to grapple with the genetic effects of radiation exposure. The environment, too, bears the scars of atomic warfare, with areas around the blast sites still recovering from the devastating impacts. Yet, amidst the devastation, there are lessons to be gleaned. The bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki stand as a stark testament to the horrors of war and the unimaginable destructive potential of nuclear weapons. They serve as a powerful reminder of the need for disarmament and non-proliferation, and they have inspired a global movement towards peace and harmony. In the wake of such tragedy, the world has witnessed Japan's remarkable resilience and recovery. From the ashes of destruction, the country has rebuilt itself, emerging as a leading global power and a symbol of peace and perseverance. The bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki serve as a stark reminder of the destructive power of nuclear weapons and a call to strive for peace and disarmament in our troubled world. Over the course of this video, we've journeyed through one of the darkest chapters in human history. We began with the Prelude to Destruction, exploring the origins of World War II and the tension that led to the birth of the atomic age. As the age dawned, we delved into the development and deployment of the world's first atomic bombs, weapons of unimaginable power. We then visited Hiroshima and Nagasaki, two cities that bore the brunt of this destructive force, their landscapes and lives forever altered. Finally, we sifted through the ashes of the aftermath, witnessing the enduring legacy left by these catastrophic events. From the physical and psychological scars to the profound shifts in global politics, these bombings have shaped our world in ways we continue to grapple with. As we remember the events of World War II, let us strive to learn from our past and work towards a future where such atrocities are never repeated.